Hello all and welcome to my next video. We're just rolling right into the next two Age of Apocalypse Wave 2 figures, Marvel Legends. The last one we just did Sabretooth and Rogue. So now we're going to take a look at Shadowcat and Legion. I said it before, Legion's kind of the odd one out here. But if you know the Marvel, or if you know the Age of Apocalypse story, then you can understand why he's there in this line. But he is kind of the odd man out. Kind of like in the first wave. I just remember that. It's funny because in the last video, I couldn't remember all of the first wave. And like as I'm filming these, I'm starting to remember them. Which was like Weapon X, Wild Child, Sunspot was one. But one of those was Morph from the cartoon, which was like really odd, but it was there, and I'm not complaining, but cool. That's kind of how Legion is. Like, I'm not complaining because I get why he's in this wave. If you know how Age of Apocalypse starts, then you get it. It's kind of weird to see like a Legion figure, to be honest. I don't know why. And Shadowcat, which is perfect, if especially for this wave, because of who the Build-A-Figure is. If you've never read Age of Apocalypse, there's kind of a tried and true and tested relationship of Colossus and Shadowcat. So yeah, here we go. Which one do we want to do first? We'll do Legion first, just because I'm the least familiar with him. Like, I know who he is and what he does, but I can't say I'm an expert on Legion, so we'll do him first. Here we go, Legion. A lot of people are not familiar with the Age of Apocalypse, may recognize Legion more so for his recent comic book. He had a solo series, and even maybe more so than that, his FX show. He had a show on FX, I believe. And so there you go. Spoilers, he is the son of Charles Xavier. I don't want to say how he works into Age of Apocalypse. If you haven't read that story, I would recommend it. I can't say all of the Age of Apocalypse is good, but it's an essential X-Men story, so I would definitely read it. Plus, like, Apocalypse himself in that is just fantastic. But here's the back if you want. There's the rest of the line we've already taken a look at. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and get Legion open. Like I said, other than, like what Legion kind of is, or like who he is, I'm not too familiar with his history. I feel like Legion's one of those characters that, like, he's always in the X-Men ether, but he's never really like out in the front. Kind of like Shadow King. Like, Shadow King's always kind of there, but he's not like this, like, I guess you're not going to hear a lot of people say Shadow King's their favorite, but I kind of feel the same way about Legion. Pretty basic here. We'll take a look at the Build-A-Figure piece first, as usual. And it looks like this one comes with the right leg of Colossus. Very loose, too. Do you know what? That's what's impressed me the most about this wave as I open them so far, is they've all been real, like, loose. Not in a bad way, but like I'm not having to, like, force them to bend, you know? So even with the Build-A-Figure piece so far. But we got his leg, so cool. Put that over here. And we'll take a look at Legion. Right out the gate, he comes with two closed-fisted hands. So good to see we're getting hands. And now we have Legion. And once again, just right out of the box, let me just say, he is very loose in a good way. This is awesome. Like, you'll get what I mean, like, when I kind of put him up here. Like everything's moving, like there's nothing, like, stiff, but it's not overly loose. It's fantastic. Like, so far we're 3 for 3, like, on the articulation scale, because some Marvel Legends, like, a perfect example, if you go back and you watch my unboxing of the first Age of Apocalypse wave. The Wild Child, his foot in that wave would not move at all. I ended up having to heat it up, and even then I was having issues with it. These have all been super, like, nice to move around. But here we go, we got Legion. He's in his blue kind of psychiatric ward outfit, I guess you could say. Barefoot. Very basic when you kind of look at him, except for the head. He's got like this smirk kind of thing going. He does have, he's got a little thing for his hair there. That's pretty funny. A little hook. A little like Superman curly Q thing going. The top of his hair is not just cut off, which previous Marvel Legends probably would have just cut that off, but it's actually kind of got a texture to it. It's nice. He reminds me of two things. Do y'all remember after Randy Savage was the kind of stopped being the spokesman for Slim Jim? They had that guy with like the crazy tall hair. He reminds me of that, and he reminds me of Paul Phoenix from Tekken. So there you go. He's a mix of the Slim Jim guy and Paul Phoenix. Ooh, the bare feet might not help standing though. Let's see. Let's see what we can get here. Maybe, there we go. He does have a little bit of a lean, but it's not too bad. Maybe if I straighten out the thigh swivel here. Let's see if we can... Okay, so one thing I noticed just before I move on. With Articulation, he does have bicep joints. But he, unlike Sabretooth over there, actually has double jointed elbows. He's got the ab crunch, torso moving. He also has a calf joint, but it's lower. It's like an ankle joint. But he also has ankle pivot, so it's very interesting. He's got a lot of little articulation, like good little articulation quirks going on in a good way. So, yeah, I like it. I like it. He's really good. Very smooth, very clean head scan. That's another thing I kind of didn't mention with the Rogue and Sabretooth. Marvel, Hasbro has gotten a lot better with their head scans. They're not as fuzzy. They're not coming out as fuzzy. They look much more clean, much more smooth. So he's no different. No paint no paint control, no paint quality control issues either on this guy. So far, that one little smudge on Rogue is all we've encountered. So we're 3 for 3 in terms of like a figure coming out of the box and being exactly what it should be. Yeah, nice. Okay, so we'll move him to the side, and then we'll get to Shadowcat. Again, box was kind of dinged up when I bought it. It's alright though. And yeah. We got the sides. We got her bio. I'll let you read that. I almost read it out loud. I kind of paused there. I won't. If you want to pause and read it, you can. Rest of the wave. So yeah, let's open up Shadowcat. Shadowcat, along with Colossus in Age of Apocalypse, is part of a team called, is it Generation Next? I think that's, or Generation X? Generation Next? Something like that. It's been a while. There's them, there's like the Extermination Squad, there's the main Magneto's X-Men, like it was so many different books put into one event. It can be hard to read, but like, still give it a shot if you want. Okay. Got that open. And looks like she's going to have some pretty cool stuff. But as always, we'll start with the Builder-Figure piece. Okay, so we have torso for Colossus. Looks like he's got an ab crunch going. These pieces are pretty loose. I'm hoping once we get the figure together, they're not as loose. Not so much the straps here, but the big red strap going down the like crossways is pretty just like loosey. I'm hoping that's not like a issue once I get them all assembled. Cool. Once we put together a Colossus as a whole, you'll get an idea of why it really is like a post-apocalyptic looking Colossus. The individual pieces probably don't do it a whole lot of justice, but once we get them completely put together, you'll get what I mean. Okay, so for Shadowcat, aka Kitty Pride, aka Catherine Pride. I know a little bit about Kitty Pride, mainly just because I'm such a big Colossus fan, so you kind of get their history, then you understand. She comes with 2 close-fisted hands, pretty much seems to be the usual. Seems to be kind of the usual for most Marvel Legends these days. Especially for this wave, it's been the usual, so... Okay, we might have our first not so perfect out of the box one. She's got some pretty tight joints here. Mainly her arm over here. Everything else is actually really good. Okay, so here we go. Again, another really smooth and clean head sculpt. I'll give it that. The only issue I'm seeing with anything like this... Well, hold on. Let me just kind of go over everything. She's got the blue. She's got the little red necklace. The gray here with the red X. She's got very similar Lady Deathstrike legs. I'm guessing they're probably the same, honestly. But yeah, everything's good. Again, out of the box, she's really like loose, but in a good way. Like everything's moving like it's supposed to. The only thing that I will say is that this arm, her right arm, is pretty stiff. Like that's not moving. So that's the first one out of all of these so far where I'm having like a joint issue. So yeah, but everything else on her is really good. It's just this one arm. So I'm gonna have to like heat that up and kind of get it going. Beyond that though, and she does have a little bit of a paint smudge there. So far Shadowcat, just quality control wise, appears to be our weakest link so far. Everything else on her is really good though. Thigh swivels, double jointed knees. She does not have double jointed elbows, but she does have the elbow swivel. No bicep. Upper torso joint. No waist swivel. Ankle pivot. Ooh, she might be the first one to have issues standing. Oh, no, there we go. Cool. So yeah, Shadowcat. There we go. And of course over here we got Legion. So there you go. Shadowcat and Legion. Kind of the two, I shouldn't say that. Because I was excited for Shadowcat just because it's going to go with the Colossus so well. Legion for sure, kind of the odd one out that, I don't know, you could have replaced, I guess. I'm not saying you can't have Legion in it. I'm just saying, like, he's the odd choice. Kind of like Morph in the first wave. Like, that slot might have been good for somebody else. I'm kind of thinking that with Legion. Even though it is a great figure. And there's my dog, y'all hear? What are you doing, Mila? Yeah. But yeah. So far, so good. Like I said, the stiff joint on this Shadowcat, that's kind of the first real issue I found out of any of these. So we're 4 figures in, and only really 1 issue so far. So I would say we're actually doing pretty good with this line. But anyway. Ooh, she gonna stand? Oh, there we go. Okay. It's taking her a minute to stand there. But, yeah, there we go. 4 figures in. Only 1 real issue with the right arm on Shadowcat here. Beyond that, so far, so good. Yeah. Next video, we're going to take a look at Iceman and Cyclops. And then after that, Magneto and the Colossus Build-A-Figure. So, yeah. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want to. You don't have to, but I appreciate anybody who does. And I will catch you guys in that next video.